They say only the good die young, but what about the evil? They die too, but not before causing immense suffering in their wake. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the most horrific practices of all time. No. 8. The Gaddafi family. Born in 1942 in a small village in eastern Libya, Muammar Gaddafi was destined for greatness, or so he thought. When he was just 13 years old, the future dictator had a dream that his tribe would rule all of North Africa. It was a prophecy he took quite seriously, and once he enrolled at university to study law, he began to formulate a plan to make it come true. He wrote numerous papers on Pan-Arabism and made several attempts to overthrow the Libyan monarchy, an action that landed him in jail. But while incarcerated, he plotted even harder, organizing coups and amassing a group of loyal supporters, who would become known as the Gaddafi family. Once he finally seized power in 1969, he wasted no time in instituting his own brand of terror, which included executing political enemies, torturing prisoners, and assassinating dissidents across the globe. His regime even funded the 1988 bombing of Pan Am Flight 103, which killed 270 people. But Gaddafi never seemed to feel remorse, even after being ousted from power and killed in 2011. In fact, one of his sons is still living a life of luxury in exile today. How did he get that way? Well, let's find out together. Hannibal Gaddafi, his second son, was born into privilege. As the son of a dictator, he had access to the best education money could buy, and became fluent in 5 languages by the age of 18. Unfortunately, he also developed a taste for excess, which included smoking cigars, driving sports cars, and throwing wild parties. But when his father was killed in the 2011 Libyan revolution, Hannibal had to flee with his mother and siblings to Venezuela. While in exile, he lived a very quiet life away from the media spotlight. However, he hasn't been able to shake off his reputation for being a spoiled rich kid. In fact, there are rumors that he is still involved in shady dealings back in Libya. For example, it's said that he controls a secret network of spies, who keep tabs on the country's new leadership. Others believe he has his sights set on taking over Libya once and for all. Only time will tell if Hannibal will live up to his family name. Number 7. The House of Rothschild. If you're Jewish, you probably know about the House of Rothschild, one of the wealthiest families in the world. What you may not know is that they're also one of the most secretive. In fact, there are rumors that they control the global financial system and can influence governments around the world. Let us take a closer look at this mysterious clan and see if they really are as powerful as they seem. The history of the Rothschild family dates back to the Middle Ages, when they were forced to flee France due to religious persecution. Eventually, they settled in Frankfurt, Germany, where they started working as bankers. But it was Meyer Amschel Rothschild who really made the business take off. After learning the banking business from his father, he expanded the company to 5 key European cities, including Vienna, London, Paris, and Naples. This gave him the power to manipulate currency markets and amass a fortune. By the time he died in 1812, his 5 sons controlled approximately 2% of the world's wealth, and since then, the family's power has only grown. Today, they're involved in everything from banking to vineyards to casinos, but they still remain largely unknown to the public. That's because they prefer to stay out of the limelight and focus on what really matters, making money. But despite their success, the Rothschilds have been the target of many conspiracy theories over the years. Some believe they're behind the creation of the Federal Reserve, while others claim they control the Illuminati. But the truth is, no one really knows what the Rothschilds are up to these days. But one thing is for sure, they're still one of the most influential families in the world. So next time you hear about them, remember that there's more to them than meets the eye. Number 6. The Donner Party. You've heard of the Donner Party, but do you know what happened to them? Well, let me catch you up. In 1846, a group of American pioneers set out from Illinois to California. But they soon found themselves stranded in the Sierra Nevada mountains during the winter. With heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures, the group was forced to abandon their wagons and seek shelter in caves. But food and supplies were scarce, so they turned to cannibalism to survive. Over the course of the winter, the group slowly dwindled, as many succumbed to starvation and others were killed and eaten by their fellow party members. Eventually, only a few survivors emerged from the mountains, forever traumatized by what they had experienced. The story of the Donner Party is a truly horrific one, and it's a reminder of the lengths that people will go to survive. No. 5. The Galactic Core. At first glance, the Galactic Core might seem like any other cluster of stars in the night sky, but looks can be deceiving because this particular group of stars is actually hiding something really dangerous. There's a supermassive black hole lurking at the center of the Milky Way, and it could potentially destroy our solar system. The galactic core is located in the constellation of Sagittarius, about 26,700 light-years away from Earth. It's home to a variety of different types of stars, including red giants, blue giants, and white dwarfs. But the most interesting star in the galactic core is definitely the supermassive black hole at its center. Black holes are regions of space with gravity so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape their grasp. And the supermassive black hole at the center of the galactic core is truly massive. It has a mass of around 4 million suns and a diameter of around 300 billion kilometers. That's big. But don't worry, the supermassive black hole isn't going to destroy our solar system anytime soon. Even though it's around 26,700 light-years away from Earth, it's not close enough to pose a threat to us. However, scientists are still studying the galactic core to learn more about how supermassive black holes form and evolve, and who knows what they might find. Maybe one day we'll find out that the galactic core is hiding even more dangerous secrets. Number 4. Human cloning. Human cloning is one of the most controversial topics in science today. Many people believe that it's unethical and could lead to all sorts of problems, but others argue that it's a natural progression of scientific advancement, and that it could help us solve some of the world's biggest problems. Here's a look at both sides of the argument. On the one hand, human cloning raises all sorts of ethical concerns. What would happen to the clone? Would they be treated as a human being or as a lab experiment? What if the clone developed a personality or identity that was different from their creator? There are also safety concerns. Cloning technology is still in its early stages, and there is a risk that something could go wrong. What if the clone was born with health problems or defects? On the other hand, human cloning could also offer some potential benefits. It could help infertile couples to have children. It could also be used to grow organs for transplant or to develop new treatments for diseases. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to allow human cloning is a difficult one. There are valid arguments on both sides of the issue, and it is a topic that will continue to be debated for years to come. No. 3. Soylent Green. Soylent Green is a dystopian film about a future where overpopulation and environmental degradation have made life on Earth a nightmare. In this bleak future, most of the world's food supply comes from a mysterious substance called Soylent Green, which is made from algae and other plant matter. But when a detective investigates a crime involving Soylent Green, he uncovers a horrifying truth about its production. Soylent Green is made from the bodies of the deceased, and those who consume it are unknowingly eating human flesh. The film is based on a novel by author Harry Harrison, and it was released in 1973. Despite its low budget, the film was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $60 million worldwide. The film's realistic depiction of a dystopian future and its thought-provoking themes have ensured its status as a classic of the science fiction genre. But what makes Soylent Green so terrifying is not just its futuristic setting, but also its underlying message about the dangers of unchecked population growth and the abuse of natural resources. 2. Medical experimentation on humans. Medical experimentation on humans is a highly controversial topic that raises many ethical concerns. Proponents argue that it can lead to important medical breakthroughs and save lives, while opponents contend that it violates human rights and dignity. Let's take a deeper look at both sides of this complex issue. On the one hand, medical experimentation on humans has led to some incredible advancements in medicine. Vaccines, antibiotics, and organ transplantation are just a few examples of how testing new drugs and treatments on humans has improved our understanding of the body and helped us develop new ways to fight disease. This type of research has saved countless lives and continues to be at the forefront of medical progress. On the other hand, critics argue that experimenting on humans without their consent is a violation of their basic rights and dignity. Many of the most notorious examples of medical experimentation, such as the Tuskegee syphilis study in the United States, involved exploiting vulnerable populations and denying them access to effective treatments. Such studies have not only caused physical harm to participants, but have also eroded trust in the medical community. No one. The devil fruit. If you're a fan of the Japanese manga series One Piece, then you're probably familiar with the devil fruits. Magical fruits that when consumed grant the eater superhuman abilities. But did you know that there are real-life fruits that have similar effects? These are known as psychotropic fruits, and they can cause hallucinations, euphoria, or even insanity. Let's take a closer look at some of the most dangerous psychotropic fruits in the world. No. 1. Nux vomica, also known as the vomit fruit. This fruit contains a poison called cyanide, which can be deadly if consumed in large amounts. The poison works by blocking the body's ability to use oxygen, which can lead to death. But small doses of Nux vomica can also cause hallucinations and other psychotropic effects. Number 2. Datura. Datura is a group of plants that contain a number of different psychoactive compounds, including scopolamine and hyoscyamine. These compounds can cause hallucinations, delirium, and even coma. But perhaps the most terrifying effect of Datura is that it can cause complete amnesia. Imagine eating a fruit that makes you forget everything you've ever experienced. That's what it's like to consume a fruit. No. 3. Perhaps the most famous poisonous mushroom in the world, Amanita muscaria, contains a number of psychoactive compounds, including muscimol and ibotenic acid. These compounds can cause hallucinations, euphoria, and even seizures. But be careful, because this mushroom also contains a number of other toxins that can make you very sick. Thanks for watching.